Hey, it's Kayla. This is part 2 of my video on learning styles, and I'm going to be talking about David Kolb's ideas on this. Okay, so he pretty much believed learning in sort of like a cycle, where you had 4 like you needed to learn in all of these 4 ways, and in order, and it was actually harder for me to understand than the other way I was talking about, but I think I got it right. I had looked at he believed it was a cycle, but he also believed people had a preference for one over the other, and one that they did better in, and I read all 4 of those preferences, and I found that, yeah, I was able to connect them to the MBTI types, except the way he describes them, it might, I don't know, like he describes them in ways that I wasn't used to, at least. I had to think about them and almost not look at how he was describing them, because he also he described them in a way but I wasn't part of it. I'm like, I don't know if that's me, but once I was able to figure out the different MBTI types, I was like, oh wait, no wait, this actually goes along with what Anthony Gregorc said too, so that makes sense. Okay, so I've actually written down the describing things, just the names of them, so I don't forget. So the NFs are in a group called diverging, NT assimilating, SJ converging, SP accommodating. Okay, so and we did sort of 2 scales, how the Gregor learning mind styles thing would go, but this was how he described them. Okay. I had related them to the descriptions more, reading the descriptions, not so much as the scale, which you'll probably realize why. Relating to MBTI. Okay, so the NF one could be, I guess, described as feeling and feeling and watching. I have just the initials. So, which he meant feeling vibe in with your like, yeah, like 5 senses, sort of like. So we're tactical. And he also described them as concrete and reflective. So he was just like, and T's as, or simulating, as thinking and watching, or abstract and reflective. So SJ, or converging, thinking and doing, or abstract and the other one, active. I knew some of that. And the SPs as, or accommodating, as feeling and doing, or concrete and active. Okay, so this I am like, find a lot of it hard to understand, and I honestly probably would not really understand it at all unless I knew MBTI. So this is, I definitely confusing to me. Okay, so the concrete and the feeling, or I would say, relating back to Gregorc's theory, you could say that they would be random. The idea would fit for that. And for yeah, so concrete that, and for abstract I would say systematic. Yeah, abstract and thinking would be systematic. And for the active or reflective, I would say they would fit in with concrete and abstract. And it's confusing because they use the same words with different meanings and describing different things. But it makes sense if you read the descriptions of them. Like, I'm not good at like memorizing things. I usually just like to connect things and not necessarily like remember facts, memorize facts. But okay, so their version of active, I would say, could fit in with concrete. And yeah, so active or doing could be concrete, and observing or reflecting could be abstract. And if you're confused, I'm kind of confused. myself, but yeah. So that, I would say, was more confusing to me, but I also saw it having like correlations to both of those things, and you might even, if you're watching this, look at them yourself and you might have better luck understanding it than me. I mean, I feel like I do understand it because I relate it to the MBTI, but then again, that's just how I learn things in general, by making connections. So could be that. I will say, David Kolb's way, I definitely thought that was very good, for describing people. I mean, I saw correlations to the MBTI. I mean, it was easier for me to understand Anthony Gregorc's way. Also, I would say you might also, if you're an NF, and I know I was like this too, you might read that and be like, concrete, no, I'm not concrete, but when I read the type description for that specific type, not looking at concrete, not looking at reflective and stuff, it made sense for the NF. So the same thing with, if you're an SJ and you're into type, you might be like, I'm concrete, but it fit in with what I knew about SJ, and then yeah, and then P. Also, the SPs in general seem more like, somewhat like feeling as well, and J's sort of like thinking, but I don't know. I'm rambling now. You can look into this, tell me your thoughts on it, or yeah.